I genuinely think this can take over. Like, I'm really excited about what's next.
Imagine a football team without a manager, a country without a leader. Imagine a class without a teacher, or a church with no preacher. You want to live a life with no rules, no profit, no example.
He's got top holder's got 37 bags. Bag 13, 4.
I grew up on the stories of the prophets, the books of the Bible, Abraham, Jesus and his disciples.
So I'm currently on my way to a janazah. I am a little bit late because basically my phone was updating and I'm in my local mosque's group chat. So as soon as someone passes away and the funeral prayer is announced, I get a notification straight away. But yeah, because my phone was updating, I didn't get any notification. So I'm slightly late. I should be able to make it in time. Luckily, I'm local to the mosque. My grandma passed away in January, and ever since then, I've been trying to make a conscious effort to go to as many janazahs as possible. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Visit the graves, for they shall remind you of the hereafter." And it's true, man. Every time I go to a janazah or I even go to a graveyard, my iman just shoots up. And it's like your clock resets, essentially. So yeah, I thoroughly recommend, if you only go to a janazah, if one of your family members die or your friends die, go to a random person's janazah. Just someone you don't know. In this case, I do actually know the family, but just go to a random person's funeral every now and then, or as many times as possible if you can. You will see the benefits. Go at least once and you will see the benefits of that one time, and you want to go every single time. I can almost guarantee it. Well, it's Pepe's 10-10, watch.
Proudly singing songs at assembly. Who built the ark? Brother Noah. Proudly they taught us about the messengers, they taught us about the message, but didn't teach us the last prophet, Muhammad. Like, how could they miss out such a vital part? That's like giving me no keys, but giving me a car. Now we look up to the stars when we need some inspiration, or we go on YouTube in search of motivation. And we wonder why we're lost and why we're failing. We should turn to Al-Amin. He came to save the nation. And this wasn't for personal benefit or self-gain. This wasn't for riches or like today, people chasing fame. If anything, because of this, he suffered so much pain. Just so this message could reach us today. And when they offered him money or they offered him women, he said you could offer the sun and moon. I wouldn't trade for this religion, nah.
Yeah, staying consistent isn't as easy as I thought it would be. So I posted 3 videos consistently back to back, week on week. And then, I'll be honest, I just got burnt out. But I'm back now. A lot has happened since my last video. So the last video I was trading crypto, still am. A lot slower though, because the market's basically like crashed probably a week after that video. And it's not really a good time to trade meme coins left, right and center. So I'll just put some money in like long-term meme coins, let them go. And then that week I also, so what happened was I recorded. Hello.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you, bro?
I'm alright, how you doing?
Alhamdulillah, all good, man. Can you hear me fine, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's funny, I picked like a random Islamic green, and then it turns out the hex code is called Pakistan green.
That's funny, man.
I literally whipped this up in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And everyone's loved it. So I'm hoping to push it out a little bit more, which is why I need, a logo and proper brand identity.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great concept. It could really grow in terms of. But yeah, let me see what I can do in terms of a logo.
So no more. Yeah, so what happened was I recorded that week, and then initially what I was doing when I first started is I edited that day in the evening. But with crypto, because I was like the markets pump in the evening, I lost that time, so I wasn't editing. And then what happened was eventually it got to like Friday, and obviously I work on the weekend, so I'd come back from work and I couldn't be bothered to edit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge last week's content and this week together and just post one big video. I don't care how long it is. It seems like the longer videos do well though, because my second video was 20 minutes and that got 1.2 thousand views. Even that, I'm now on 161 subscribers, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if I imagine 161 people standing in front of me, watching and listening to me, it's a lot of people. So I'm grateful for that. And I do now feel like I need to take accountability and I need to stay consistent, because I've even gotten DMs on Instagram. I'm getting comments of people that are inspired and they're liking the content, which is mad. This is like my third video. This one will be the fourth. So in January of this year, I started seeking knowledge a bit more professionally. So I signed up for courses, AMAU specifically, and I signed up for the Student of Knowledge program. And there was one problem that I kept coming across, and that was if I needed an answer to a question, I wouldn't get that answer for a couple of days. And that's just the nature, right? Like you ask a sheikh a question, you have to wait a certain amount of time. They have to look into evidences. They want to make sure they're correct in the response they're giving you. They're also busy with their own commitments. They've also got families. So it's not just, work for them. And then what you would do in turn is you would turn to something like Islam QA. And it's a very old website, as you can clearly see. And then even the answers, look, 1997. I don't know why I picked that one. 1998. Like, these are very old responses. Some of these answers actually might be outdated. Maybe not, something like this. I suppose these are most read. So this is probably where there's ijma', where there's consensus, and there's no difference of opinion, etc. But my point still stands. There's still some old responses. And then again, the website looks horrendous. I think even on mobile, it's not entirely optimized. And then what you would do is you'd get an answer. Sometimes you wouldn't be completely happy with it. So you would then go to a different website. I don't know many. What's next? Islam Board, I guess. Is this one? Or maybe Reddit. Like, there's so many forums out there that are going to give different opinions with different evidences, with different interpretations of those evidences. And then some might follow the same aqidah. Some might actually be innovators. And how would you know that? Because if they give you a fiqh answer, how are you going to know if the aqidah is wrong? You don't. So I decided months ago to create an AI, specifically for Islam. So you could ask it any question and it would give you the answer. And the way something like OpenAI works is you can model that specific assistant to follow the correct aqidah, to only reference certain books, to only reference certain scholars. So then we know the answers were entirely correct. I tried to make it didn't work, so I gave up after about a month. Last week I came across a course that taught how to create websites whilst also leveraging AI with practically zero code. Now there is a low level amount of code on my website. That's just because I'm a computer science student. I know how to code, so I'm going to leverage that skill that I have. But this could have been made with no code at all. Actually, the first version of this site was made with no code, but I very quickly changed that and I added some low code. But no code, low code, same thing. ChatGPT can write low code for you. It's not that big of a deal. So I made the back end of this website in about 45 minutes, and then I made the front end in about a week, because it's made with Webflow. I've never used Webflow, so I wanted to make sure it looked nice. But here's how it works. I need to change that actually. Why is it blue? This is very rough, as you can tell. I've just launched a very, very rough version of this website. I wanted to get as much feedback as possible and then keep iterating and keep building in public, which is why I'm mentioning it in this video. But you hit get started and then you ask it a question. So, Shafi, what's your question? Let's ask it, how do I do the this checkbox here is extremely important, but I agreed to not take my deen solely from artificial intelligence. Now, 9 times out of 10, the answer is very, very, I don't want to say correct, accurate, let's say. But as anything, it is a computer. Don't take your deen from a computer. Ask a sheikh, ask the ulama. Yeah, I had to put that in there because even some sheikhs make errors, right? Even when a sheikh gives you an answer, he will always start with Allahu Alam. Like, Allah knows best. Don't take it from me completely. But anyways, you hit submit, and it will get sent to the back end of the application. Then you get an email. I'm going to blur out a lot of this. Now, this week, inshallah, I'm aiming to get the answer to display live on the website and not as an email. But just for now, it's an email. Again, I wanted to get something very, very rough out. And it's surprisingly difficult to make content dynamically display on Webflow. Not entirely sure why. I'm looking into different ways to do that. But let's see if responses come through yet. So you can actually see here. So at 3:33, I asked a question. And then at 3:33, I got an answer. So very, very quick, very quick. Here's the answer. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Let me make it bigger. How do I do tashahhud? It hasn't mentioned. See, so now I technically speaking haven't got a proper answer. What I was aiming for was it to tell me what I do with the finger. So again, I might have to be a bit more specific, and this is some of the features that we'll be adding. The second version of this model of the AI is a lot more specific, but it's not live yet, and that will come in the next version. My main focus is to get the answer on the page. Let's do that again. Shafi, do I move my... Oh, no, let's do how. How do I move my finger on the... Right, now let's wait for it. Right, here we go. This is what I was aiming for. You are Shaykh, how do I move my finger in tashahhud? The answer to your question is based on the practices of the Shafi'i madhab. According to the Shafi'i school of thought, it is prescribed to point with the index finger and move it, or keep it pointed without moving, based on specific narrations and evidence. So this is the evidence from Quran or Sunnah. So I've made sure it will always reference a Quranic chapter or verse, if applicable, or authentic hadith, and it does that here. And then what it will do is it will reference scholars or renowned scholars from or who align with that specific madhab. So we know Imam al-Nawawi, rahimahullah, was a Shafi, or followed the Shafi madhab, and he says it here. Or well, the AI says it here. Renowned scholars supporting this method include Imam al-Nawawi, Ibn Hajar, who adhered to Shafi'i principles and confirmed the practice and is valid. Like, imagine you need an answer to a question you really, really don't know, and you can just ask it here and it'll give you the answer straight away. This could actually, like, genuinely change lives, I think. But yeah, that's what I built in the past week. Play around with it. I'll put a link in the description to what it is, but it's literally just www.askshaykhai.com. Play around with it. Everything is anonymous. I can see the questions and I can see the answers, but I don't see who asked. So yeah, please play around with it. Comment your feedback. You've got my email now, so you can email me your feedback as well. That's cool. I genuinely think this can take over. Like, I'm really excited about what's next. I do need to work out a way to monetize this because it is at the moment costing me about £80-ish a month to run. But that'll come. I'm not fussed. Like, at the end of the day, I am doing this because I needed a solution. I built this for myself, friends and family, and then I figured out, you know what, this could actually change a lot for the Ummah. Pretty much just destroyed every single Islamic forum out there, but it's cool. Don't rely on it. It's just a tool, especially if you're seeking knowledge. It's definitely a tool I believe you should use in your seeking knowledge journey. Add it in your toolbox, add it in your arsenal. But yeah. So yeah, essentially what I'm hoping for is to build Shaykh AI to a decent level where I can start promoting it and monetizing it and getting customers and stuff. I don't think that should take longer than about 3 weeks. But I've now put a specific structure in place where I'm waking up early in the morning, I'm trading Forex, and then I've got deep work sessions to focus on this app or building in general. And then got specific sessions to work, to study ilm, and then I'll spend the evening doing crypto. is how I've got it planned out. Pretty much packed out days, but I like that, and that's what I'm hoping for, and I'm hoping to keep it up. But it's cool. I think it definitely diversifies the content that I'm going to be putting out. It definitely makes more sense considering I'm going back to uni in about a month, and obviously I study computer science, so it aligns with that a lot more. I mean, obviously when I go back to uni, I probably automatically will be posting more tech stuff anyway, but this has definitely made me fall back in love with it. My brother has always pushed me to build things, but I think coding was just so repetitive and tedious that every time I'd start building something, I'd find a bug and I'd be stuck on it for a week, and that would just make me lose my mind. But the fact that the new framework now is no code, and then turning no code to low code, and then once you've essentially built up and you've got recurring revenue, you can then hire developers or develop them yourself because you have that time, right? You're making money from it now. So yeah, it's definitely a cool space to be in. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I've got 4 months of the year left, and although I haven't yet achieved everything I wanted to this year, something in me makes me feel like I'm gonna blow these last couple months out of the water.
Set such an example in his lifetime, just to benefit the rest of mankind. He taught us to have manners, he taught us to have good character, taught us to be good to each other and a neighbour. He taught us equality, he taught us strive for excellence. Anything we do it properly. He taught us to have principles, he taught us to have discipline, to be patient and understanding. He taught us...
So it turns out my mic is dead, so it's plugged into a portable charger. I've spent probably 5 hours working out how to design a custom radio button in Webflow. Webflow is so simple, but also just so complicated for no reason at the same time. I've done it. I'm currently redesigning the main question page for Sheikh AI. I can't lie, it looks sick. I'm not going to show it yet because it's still a work in progress, and I want to just release it when it's ready. But it looks so sick. Like, it looks proper clean. Still a couple changes I want to make, a couple improvements I want to work out. I'm really happy with this.
He taught us to be humble, taught us to be simple and be grateful. He taught us about survival. He taught us to have strength. He taught us to have forgiveness for our rivals. He taught us to be kind. He taught us the best of men are those who are good to their wives, and the best of mankind are those who benefit mankind. He gave us the keys to this life. We only chose to live by these morals and examples. Imagine the world we live in now, so beautiful. Instead we do the opposite. Our idea of free will made us a world full of hatred and criminals.